Yo, good morning, guys. It's early morning over here, but I wanted to make an updated video on our total 3 market cap minus stablecoins chart, as it is showing Wyckoff accumulation for our beloved altcoins and what I expect to happen moving forward for the altcoin market in a whole. We're going to take a look at a few individual altcoin charts to show you guys examples of ones that have already played out to the upside. And also look back at Bitcoin that showed the same thing earlier this year, and traditional markets that showed the same thing earlier this year. Right, so if you enjoyed today's video, smack up that like to a new all-time high, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's jump on into it and not waste any more of our beloved time. All right, so this is total 3 minus stablecoins. So what this chart shows is basically all the altcoins minus Bitcoin and ETH, and also taking out USDT and USDC. So we get the most accurate representation of the altcoin market cap, right? So if we take a look at this, it is showing the Wyckoff accumulation structure number 1. Now we've seen this over on Bitcoin earlier this year. We're going to take a look at that in a second, but if you guys can see this, back in June, right? Basically, we had Dirty Gary Gensler come on in and attack our altcoins, right? He came in and attacked our altcoins. And at that time, I said, you know what? I'm going to get out of the altcoin market when he started attacking the altcoins. And I want to see some strength from the altcoins. I want to see them be able to, if they're going to dump below this December low, I want to see them be able to reclaim and hold as support before I look at this and I say, all right, maybe we got some type of Wyckoff accumulation in here. Now, what do we typically know about bad news? Bad news, capitulation events typically mark bottoms, and that that obviously was the FTX dump for Bitcoin, and I think that might have been the SEC attacking the altcoins. That might have marked their low with the big capitulation candle on the weekly that dropped us below that January low. So now that we have that low in, and we know there was a lot of fear in the market on that low. Now that we've seen us reclaim that second low, now we can look at this as Wyckoff accumulation. We can say we had our first low back here back in June. We came up. We made our second lower low back here back in January. And then we basically came up. We made a lower high, right? We came up. We made a lower high than that of August. We came back down for that spring phase. We made a lower low than that December low. And in my opinion right now, we are starting to form that spring phase. Now, this doesn't mean we're going to go straight to the moon. So I want to put that disclaimer in there. Not saying we're going straight to the moon. We're not going to go 100x tomorrow, right? This sometimes can be a slow, gradual process back up to the top of the range. Kind of like how we saw with Bitcoin, right? So if we take a look at this and say, okay, if this is spring phase, right here, and this is spring phase right here, we probably would expect a more gradual, slow grind up based off of this theory, right? We would expect, kind of a choppy sort of move up like this. But the main key here, and I want to make this clear, is holding that January low. If we start dropping back below that January low, it might be time to cut that trade and look at something else. But as of right now, as long as we hold this January low, even if we come back down and test it again, that is all good. Eventually, I am looking for this to make it back up to the top of the range, form that SOS phase, and then start to make our way back up higher. But I want to show you guys some examples of this already playing out. So you might say, Jordan, I don't think this is going to happen. Well, we've already seen some of the altcoins have this play out individually, right? We go to Bitcoin Cash that had this exact formation that's already played out to the upside, right? We take a look. We have the 1, 2, 3 structure. We break that second low with that big wick down here, and then boom, we get that Wyckoff sort of blast off phase in here. I've been talking about Ethereum Classic, right? Ethereum Classic, we have the same structure coming on in here, and we're starting to see that play out on ETH Classic. We have the 1, 2, 3, break that second low with that third spring phase, and now we're seeing Ethereum Classic start to also come up, where I've picked up a Ethereum Classic as soon as we broke above this trend line in here. And I picked up some Bitcoin Cash as soon as I recognized that this was Wyckoff back down here, right? So those two have played out fantastically. We've seen this from Chainlink, right? We have Chainlink starting to play this out now. We have 1, 2, 3. We've broken back into the range for Chainlink. Chainlink is starting to play this now. Now, those are just a few examples. We have them even from like the smaller market cap coins on the daily. We have, say, Arbitrum, which has our 1, 2, 3rd spring phase. We came up, we held, and now we're looking to hold that low in order to come back up. So just a few examples of this that some of them that have already played it out, some of them that are currently in the process, and some of them that haven't even started to move yet. And that's the opportunity, is finding the ones that haven't really moved yet. Now, where have we seen this before, right? We've seen this on Bitcoin Cash play out. Where have we seen this before? Well, right now, the coin that everyone's talking about, right, and for whatever reason it's pumping, but FTT, right? Even FTT, the one that you're like, why is FTT moving up? Well, we have that same structure. We have the 1, 2, 3rd spring phase, and look, now FTT is also making that move to the upside after having that spring phase. Even the ones you wouldn't expect are having that sort of move up. So we have these on individual altcoins. If we go take a look at Bitcoin, this is what we saw earlier this year. As Bitcoin tends to lead the altcoins, Bitcoin always pumps first, Ethereum pumps second, and then altcoins pump last, right? So we've seen already Bitcoin go from that 1, 2 spring phase back up to the top of the range, SOS phase. And for Bitcoin, I believe we're in phase E. So we are way ahead of the altcoins as far as where we are in the cycle. I believe we're in phase E, getting ready for higher prices for Bitcoin, which leads to believe that I think the spring phase for the altcoins is in the process of happening now, right? So that's what we have for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already seen this structure, and we've actually already seen this structure if we actually go take a look at, say, the NASDAQ, right? We already saw this on the traditional markets as well, as we had, our 1, 2, 3 spring phase back up to the top, right? So we've seen this from the traditional markets. We've seen this from Bitcoin, right? And I think it's a matter of time before the altcoins start to catch that same bid. Now, that doesn't mean they're going straight up to the moon. I want to make this very, very clear in this. Guys, when we're looking at these alts with these structures, as there's many that I've already pointed out, and there's many more on the charts that you can probably dig up and find with that same structure. Just remember, we buy pullbacks. We do not FOMO into green candles. We can do it sometimes. I've done it, right? And sometimes it works when you FOMO into the green candles. But just remember, wait for pullbacks on these. I don't think it's going to be like this straight shot moonshot where they just come straight up and you're going to miss out if you don't get in. I personally think we'll see stuff like this, where we're going to kind of see a move up, we're going to chop back down. We're going to see a move up, we're going to chop back down, until eventually we pick up some steam eventually, and then we see more of that, more of a parabolic move later on down the road. But I think we're going to start painting a low, right? And painting a low doesn't mean you're instantly going to moon. It could just mean that you're going to start, either forming a W pattern in here, or you're going to fart, or you're going to fart. It's too early for me here. Or you're going to start just stair-stepping your way up, right? Stair-stepping your way up until eventually you get that move up. So, like I said, I think we're in the process of forming this low. I think it's an interesting time in the market right now, as we got Bitcoin leading the charge, which is exactly what we want to see during this time. We got Bitcoin dominance, which is continuing up, which I believe that Bitcoin dominance will continue up. I believe that we got probably one more push on Bitcoin dominance. We're probably going to come to this 57 to 60% range on Bitcoin dominance, and that's when you might see the move that everyone wants from the altcoins, which is that parabolic move. We're not in this for a 2x. If you're going to be in the altcoins, for me personally, I'm expecting a high return if I'm in the altcoins. So I think we're going to get that when we get into this green box for Bitcoin dominance. So if we put this all together, right, and my thought process is like this. We put this all together, right? We come over here to the Bitcoin weekly. Bitcoin gets a move up, right? Bitcoin dominance overall shoots to the upside. We come into this green box. Bitcoin finds a little bit of a headwinds, and that's when you might see total 3, which at that time might be kind of, working its way up like this, eventually start to maybe get that bigger push to the upside, right? But it's going to take some patience. It might not happen right away. And if it doesn't happen next week, I don't want you guys attacking me in the comments section. just be patient on this, right? And where I get a little bit worried is if total 3 starts to come back down and we actually start closing a weekly back below this December low. If we close below that December low, we could probably call this off. We could probably go to Thanksgiving dinner and not worry about this until after Thanksgiving dinner. All right, so I'm out of here, guys. Just wanted to do a quick update video on total 3 market cap, as I believe we are forming that Wyckoff accumulation phase. We've already seen it from multiple different altcoins like FTT, like Bitcoin Cash. We're starting to see it from Ethereum Classic, right? Coming in here. We're seeing Litecoin that's up 19% today, finally breaking out to the upside. We're seeing this across the board. Chainlink is also forming this, guys, as we got a big truck coming in through. We got a big truck coming in through the video. We've seen AVAX start to actually form this. So we got the formations. Let's let it have some patience and let this kind of form. And we'll check back in on this in a few days to weeks and see where we end up. All right. So I'm out of here, guys. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Catch you guys later. Screw this truck. Peace.